Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Virtue's Last Reward. Let's continue. So we are in the treatment center, which honestly, until we can get into the last three areas in the flow, the white chromatic doors, I feel like there's a decent chance that this escape room, and this escape room might be redundant escape rooms. If that's not the case, then there is some subdirectory between a subdivision that's happening here between going through a green door and ending up in a completely different area, which this was the Golem Bay last time when we went to the gray door, and now we're in the treatment center. We have Quark and Clover, which is an interesting combination. It's a button under the screen, push it then, right, and there. Hey, it turned on. Looks like there's something on it. What the heck is this? It says start in the corner there, maybe it's a board game. We found an image of a board game, you can review it in the archive. Yeah, that definitely seems like some kind of board game of some sort. Looking at the letters, was there a character named J? No. But maybe that wouldn't be a problem if the old lady was dead. If each of these letters did represent somebody. No, I think there's more than 9 different letters here. So I don't think that's just going to be the names of people. Here we have the lion eating the sun, which here we can see a lunar eclipse. Nice line. That's a pretty realistic painting. It's really, really, really lion. Now, here is a great thing to point out. This frame is 3D. It looks fine. But the painting itself is 2D, and it looks amazingly good. Compare the level of graphics of this lion, which we only get to see for a brief time here, and the level of graphics we've seen with Clover in the corner there. The 3D modeling doesn't come anywhere close. They are definitely drastically different art styles, for sure, but actual detail, actual pixels that are different, brush strokes. The problem with making 3D models, particularly in the early days, there's like no shading there. There's no texture. There's no wrinkles, no freckles, nothing at all that would give any kind of detail, which then makes everything inevitably look like it's just a CG computer-generated blob that isn't very human, and in general that kind of is the anime art style, or the moe art style in particular, where there's just considerably less detail than you would expect, and thus the people look less humanoid. Don't sing in a whisper like that. It's creepy. Looks kind of like he's coughing up a hairball. I think he's trying to eat something, not cough it up. He's trying to eat a hairball? Probably something else. What? I don't know. There's just a hole there. We need to put something in the hole. Yeah, I think so. Oh, so this little black part is a circular hole, and the circular hole is 3D, so it's not a round hole, and it doesn't look like a hole. Once again, because it's just blackness. We've got some jellyfish. Aliens. Pretty sure they're just jellyfish. Aliens. There are 3 jellyfish. 2 yellow ones and a purple one. What's that inside the purple one? Is it digesting human flesh? Why would you even think something like that? I don't think it's meat anyway. Looks like it's too solid. I think it's a tile of some sort. Wonder if we can get it out. Oh, we're gonna need a key. You can't open it? Nope, looks like it's locked. Well, it's got a keyhole. Then I guess we need to unlock it. Of course, how are we going to get it out of a jellyfish? We have a plant. It's all withered up. How sad. I bet it hasn't been watered. Yeah. Did you notice there's something stuck in the trunk? Yeah, it looks like a red plastic. Let me have a look. I'll see if I can pull it out. Huh. It won't budge. I think it's stuck on something. Guess we have to take the whole thing then. Huh? Well, that red thing is probably important. Yeah, we're probably right. So we have now taken the whole plant. Now, I have to question something here. Because one of the things about these timelines that seems like it has been hinted at is that this facility could have been manned only by an AI for potentially hundreds of years. So, jellyfish, I think, are genetically immortal. They basically can live forever, perfectly replicating their DNA forever. Plants, not so much, but very old, so I suppose neither one of those break the idea that I may have been asleep, frozen in time for 100 years or two. Here we have a binder. Looks like there's a piece of paper in it. It says how to open the pod room door. We're trying to open the pod room door so we could potentially put Quark in the treatment area and perhaps treat him, if not cure him, from Radical 6. And here we've got a tablet. Let's see, a tablet. There's a message on it. 4 pieces for the first password. 1 piece for the second password. What is that supposed to mean? If I touch it, the screen changes. Enter the 4-digit password, then press enter. Alright, we've got no idea. Do you think maybe pieces could mean like pieces in a board game? Pieces. Don't you remember what it said on the tablet before? Password screen pop up, like 4 pieces for the first password, 1 piece for the second password. Those pieces. Okay. But what board game are you talking about? You already forgot? Let's look at this before we try to solve things. We have something that says N04, a wall clock, nothing strange here. What? Are you serious? Are we even looking at the same clock? Everything about it is abnormal. Let's see. For instance, it has no hands. And it says N04. Really? Totally looks like a regular clock to me. Oh my gosh. Okay, abnormality number 1. No hands. Oh yes, I guess it doesn't have any. What do you mean, guess? How could you miss that? Sorry. Anyway, abnormality number 2. There's some weird green glowing thing. Oh yeah, there is. What is that? I guess there's no way to know without taking it out. But there's a cover, right? You can't get to it. Yeah. It won't open. Shoot. Well, duh. There's no way it's going to be that easy. So if we want to get this green thing, we have to figure out a way to get the cover open. Yep. Abnormality number 3. There's a hole on the bottom left corner. Huh? I wonder what that is. I think it's probably a keyhole. Oh. Then that means wait. We can think later. I've got 2 more points of abnormality. Number 4. Turn your attention to the other side of the clock, specifically the bottom right corner. What do you think these are? Well, there are 2 slots painted red and green. Do you think they're memory cards? They sure look like they are. And I've saved the best for last. Abnormality number 5 is about the number 4. Huh? Look, see where it says N04 on the face clock? Yeah. That number 4 is the 5th abnormality. Ah yes, I see, it's rather odd. Does that mean that this is the 4th clock? Anyway, those are 5 weird things about this clock. Where were you looking anyways? At the clock. Then your eyes must be worse than I thought. So we have Clover there showing us at least a brief level of moment of intelligence. Look, there's a plant over here too. This one's pretty healthy. It's got a piece of plastic stuck in it too. Looks like it won't come out either. Guess we'll be carrying another plant then. So I think we're going to have to end up treating these plants and killing them. To get the plastic key cards out. See what the screen does. Or can only be unlocked with a 4-digit code. Use the hit and blow numbers to determine the correct numbers. For each number that is correct in a correct place, you get a hit. For each number that is a correct number but not in the correct place, you get a blow. You have 10 guesses to figure out the password. If you guess wrong 10 times, the code will reset and you must start over. I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to work, but I guess I can mess with it a bit. Interesting. This feels more like a game, unlike every other puzzle, where the answers are always the same. So if I do get a password that lets me open this door, will it be the same password in other timelines, or will it even matter? It kind of feels like it matters in this instance, because while I could in most escape rooms just put in a code into the safe and get the key and leave that escape room and just skip the puzzles if I ever have to redo them, I don't feel like that's the same situation when you're trying to save Quark. The door is protected by a 4-digit password. You can hit the hit blow count. Use the hit blow counts to display it on the screen to figure out what the 4 digits are. If one of the numbers you selected is in the password in the right place, you get a hit. If one of them's in the password but not in the right place, you get a blow. So, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check. Okay, that eliminates quite a lot. 5, 6, 7, 8. Check. 2 hits, 2 blows. Okay. So I assume that's not in any way different. So I guess the password is 58876. Let's try that. 1 hit, 3 blows. Alright. So let's try 5, 7, 8. Nope, nope, nope. Must be something like 5, 6, 8, 7, or something along that lines. 1 hit, 1 blow. And this is where this is going to get confused. 7. Let's see. 8, 8, 5, 6. 4 blows. So we got really bad there. So 8, 7, 6, 5. 2 hits, 2 blows. Okay. So we've got 4 more guesses until it resets. If it was 5, 6, 7, 8, and you had 2 hits there, then how can we have 2 hits now? That's interesting. So try 5768. Feel like I'm gonna get redundant here. Okay. I kind of wish we could see the history of what we guessed instead of just having to remember it. It was 5, 6, 7, 8, and that was 2 hits. I think this one's 6 then. And then this obviously isn't 8. And this obviously isn't 5, so 8, 6, 5, 7. Seven, 7, 6, 5, 8. I feel like I've done this already, but alright, we need to guess something different. 5, 6, 7, 8 worked. If this is 6, 7, then is it 5, 6, 7, 8? Nope, can't be. Is it 7, 5, 6, 8? Nope. Is it 7, 8, 6, 5? Might as well try. It was 8, 6, 7, 5. This one's not really going to be helpful at all, is it? There's also, I guess, a possibility of duplicate numbers, and I hadn't even considered that up until this point. Okay, we can, I guess at that point, exclude that. So I'm gonna go... 3, 4, 5, 6. One hit, one below. Let's see. Two, 3, 6, 8. 2, 1, 7, 5. 2, 1, 2. Nope, no duplicates. Okay, that makes that easier. 2, 1, 8, 6. 2, 1, 5, 7. Well, that's even worse. Okay. So it's going to be 2, 4. And then 6, 8. Yeah, I'm not going to get this. Obviously. The game... I don't even know how a game could give us more of a hint here. Let's see. 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 8, 9. 2485 was what it was. This is just straight up a brute force puzzle. 1, 3, 2, 5. 1, 3, 6, 7. 1, 3, 8, 9. 1, 4, 6, 5. Okay. 2, 6, 5, 4. So it is 1. 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 7, 1, 6, 3, 7, 1, 3, 7, 8. 1, 4, 6, I think is 1, 3. Let's try that. Oh, it was 6, 2, 4, 1. Ah, man, there's no help here, is there? Like you're just gonna have to get fairly close here at the beginning, and then if you can get really lucky, then you potentially can figure this out. But if you can't get really lucky, then you are going to end up burning through all of your choices fairly quickly. Let's go 7, 1, 2, 4. Okay. 7, 1, 2, 8. 7, 9, 2, 4. 7, 1, 4, 3. So I got fairly lucky at the start of this. Now it's just a matter of, is it 7, 1, 3, 4? I've got two tries here. 4 hit. Yeah, that took like 13 minutes. You did it, Sigma. Looks like that was the answer. Phew, that was lucky. Anyway, that seems to have unlocked it. And that totally isn't the password previously, so unless there's some other way that this door opens up, then we have no idea how this really is going to go. Looks like there are 3 pods. From the left, there are pod 1, pod 2, and pod 3. They have numbers on them. You can really see them. You just can't really see them from here. Also, they've got handles. Maybe they're for opening the pods up. Sure, let's try. Let's go ahead and put a plant in here. There's nothing in here. Yeah, it's empty. No clues, or wait, there's something written on the inside of the cover. Alright, how do we look at the inside of the cover? It looks like a digital clock. 11 hours, 1 minute. Is that always read that way, or 1 minute 11 hours if you were laying down? Apparently I can't put the plants in. Here we have a key. The key, isn't it? Silver key. Just looks like a normal key. Have you seen any keyholes that might fit it? Still don't know about these passwords. I'll have to remember about them. And then this one is 620. Did you think it was a nipple with 2 hairs growing out of it? Of course not. The hands are pointed at 620. That might be a localization translation issue too, or that might just be some weirdness. I guess at some point you might just have to ascribe some of the weirdness of this game to just straight up weirdness. Then here we have one at 715. Hands are pointing at 715. Are you sure you're reading it right? Yeah, seeing the 12, that's the top. And we have definitely found cork in these, in this pod in other timelines. There's something here, a key. And that's a different kind of key. I think it's called a Dimple Key. They're pretty thick too. There's a lot of different key technologies, although I think a lot of it is more for flash than actual usage. Any difference in security until you start actually paying potentially $100 for a lock that then you need probably thousands of dollars to protect to expense the cost of such a lock. The message on the screen: maintenance can please insert activation chip. What does it mean by an activation chip? Well, I guess there's a chip we insert into the pod. You think? Why you're being like that? This is important. Okay, I get it. We need to get cork into one of these, right? Yeah. Well, we think we do. We have no idea what this is treating. And for currently undergoing internal maintenance, please stand by. Guess we can't use that one. Yeah. So did they accidentally put Dio in there and kill him because it was under maintenance? Currently undergoing internal maintenance, like we can't use this pod. So there's only one pod that's actually available. So if anybody else gets infected, then that's going to cause a problem too. Let's assume the Dimple Key unlocks this. It did? Haha, it opened. Here we grab a number 1 chip with a green light on it. Not sure what it does. And that definitely looks like some kind of different chip. I guess we could try and put the memory card in here and see what happens. Nope. Seemingly that memory card does not count. We can open this. Now I should be able to open this thing. What the hell? There's a second lid. Yeah, but it's got a hole in the middle. If you stick your hand in there, maybe you can grab the one thing with the meat in it. It's not meat. Whatever. Let's give it a shot. Oh, hot. The water's really hot. Also, jellyfish would probably sting you and that would hurt really, really bad. Really? Really? Then these bubbles. Yeah, it's boiling. No way. No jellyfish could survive in boiling water. They are aliens. Yeah. We should try and get the purple one to rise up to the top somehow. If we could get it right under the hole, then I think I could grab it. You can move the 3 jellyfishes by using the directional buttons. Why can I move them? Move the purple jellyfish to the hole using the water currents in the tank. If you move one of the yellow jellyfish to the hole instead, you are a failure and will We are very disappointed in you. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Okay, so that fails for real. So this is just using the D-pad again to solve something that I would kind of classify more as a more of a skill-based puzzle than anything else. There we go. I don't feel like there's two ways to solve that. Gotta grab the jelly fast. What the heck? Jellyfish and fast? Because the water is hot. So it's an artificial jellyfish, apparently. This is Ellen. She's a mysterious intelligent life form from the outer reaches of space. Don't give it a name. Here, take it. Hey, stop it. What if it grabs onto my face and lays eggs in me or something? Aliens references, which, why Clover in 2028 would have watched Aliens is questionable. Also, considering her age, I wouldn't suspect she would have watched Aliens. Come on, it just wants to give you a hug. Besides, it's not even alive. It's a thing, man-made, like a toy or something. But it's digesting a chunk of meat. It's not meat. Then what is it? Hold on. I'll pull it out now. So I'll probably just throwing that back. It's a circular tile. It's human flesh. No, it's not. It's a ceramic tile. Oh well. Yes, I guess it is only red on one side. So seemingly we just left the jellyfish on the floor or something. Yep, fits perfectly. Yeah, I didn't think it did anything though. Look. What the heck? A laser. Of course, in a sci-fi story, standing in front of a laser is risking getting lasered in half. Gosh, I don't think there'd be something like this behind that picture. A laser? Alright, so now we can see through here. Okay. Let's look down. Let's look up. We still got things to do for sure. It's kind of funny that the safe is left that way, and theoretically Cork is right there on the floor. Thank goodness it didn't make me potentially solve that puzzle a second time. That would have been incredibly annoying. And this is as far as you can twist one way or the other. So if I was to open this and then look at this, we have 15. Look, the laser added stuff this time. Yeah, looks like it's 0-15 now. Okay, good to know. Let's see. Archive. Illustration of the dice game. They said to open this password. 4 pieces for the first password, 1 piece for the second password. If I touch it, the screen changes. Okay. So we look at this dice game, 4 pieces, which would be TOBC, one assumes. Either that or something else. Well, it seems like you go counterclockwise if you hit a lowercase h, and you go clockwise if you hit an M. Okay. So is it just TLBC? Or is there something more to this that would make sense? M would just mean keep going until you hit H and then go back. There's like no end here, so if the number one piece went one step, it would land on T. If you wanted to continue in many turns and go through every step, it would just hit every letter. Eventually it would hit M, making it continue on the clockwise, then it would eventually hit H and go backwards and not hit the clockwise. But there's no final step anywhere there, so the fact that the letters in the middle are lowercase does not seem to really mean anything. Let's see, TLBC doesn't really. There's botch, BOTCH. Yeah, there's no word there. So TOBC. Check. No. What could there possibly be a solution here? Or I don't think we're ready. This is pointless. I don't know what password I'm supposed to put in here. Clover said it might have something to do with the board game. I should go look at that game, I guess. Let's skip this for now though, and let's put in the activation chip. Oh look, the color changed. I think it says something too. There's a message on the screen. Before use, the system must be initialized. Please perform the following tests. 1. Treat vegetation. 2. Freeze vegetation. Until the tests are complete, the pod will not function with the human occupant. What the heck is this? We can't put a person in there until it runs its test. Seems pretty clear to me. Then what about Quark? Don't worry, we just need to run the test. Something about treating and freezing a plant, yes. Treating makes sense. These being treatment pods and all. Freezing? Well, we don't have a choice, do we? We gotta follow these instructions. Come on, we don't have time just to sit around. We've got to do these tests to get Quark into one of these pods. Yeah, right. Got it. Okay, well, I think we can figure out what we're supposed to do there fairly easily. We'll make sure we have the withered plant for treat. Okay, put the withered plant down. Now what do we do? Let's try closing the pod. Right, here goes. Identifying subject done. Diagnosing subject done. Initializing treatment cycle. The idea that a treatment pod could fix a plant seems particularly insane. It's like completely different life forms. Treatment complete. Pod opening. Hey, what the heck is this? The plant was practically dead a minute ago. No way, no way, that's impossible. It's like magic. Well, we won't need this plant anymore. He's done a good job. Thank you for your service, sir. Huh? Hey, look, it's like there's something here. Must have been the thing stuck in the trunk. Whatever, the treatment must have pushed it out. So now we have a red memory card that looks more like a Sony Mim stick than anything else. Okay, and then we swap to the other plant. Okay, this time it's a healthy plant's turn. I wonder if it'll work. Who knows? Let's just close it up. Identifying subject, done. Diagnosing subject, done. Identity freeze. Initiating freeze cycle. When we get Quark in here, we should lock him in. The Radical 6 making him suicidal clearly shows we should lock them in. Freeze test complete. Pod opening. Although I guess that is the assumption that the treatment pod wouldn't 100% work. Freezing test complete. Pod opening. Whoa, it's totally frozen stiff. Probably because of your lame joke. Did I say something? Looks like the leaves are all crunchy. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Ah, oh man, what did you do, Clover? It's all broken now. But, whatever. Just help me clean it up. So glass-like frozen pieces of leaves potentially stabbing in the back of cork if they don't clean it up perfectly. Hello, this wasn't here before. It's that plastic thing that was stuck in the trunk. It must have fallen out when the plant shattered. It'd be a weird memory card to actually be able to survive such a phrase. Alright, I think that should complete both tests. So hurry up and put cork in. I know. Hang on. We throw him in there. There we go. He's sure sleeping pretty hard. Huh? And he still has his helmet in this timeline? You never think he's sick. I guess that Sopril stuff is pretty strong, yeah. So, what do we do now? How about closing the cover like we did before? That should start automatic diagnosis. Got it. It's a big assumption. And I don't actually see the handle on the inside that you would even use to open it. Identifying the subject done. Diagnosing subject done. Single human occupant secured. Beginning treatment. He's gonna be okay. Maybe we should check the screen. Yeah. I think this is some kind of readout of Cork's vital signs. Body temperature, pulse rate, blood pressure, respiration frequency. They all look normal. What a relief. Wait. There's something else down at the bottom. Radical 6 virus detected in subject. System is not equipped to treat Radical 6. Current program will alleviate symptoms but cannot cure viral infection. What the heck? Then what was the point of putting them in here? Well, I don't think there was no point. After all, it says it can alleviate the symptoms. But, hold up. Let's keep looking. It says more. The system is capable of inducing a cold sleep. Cold sleep state freezes subject with CAS preserving cell structure. During cold sleep states, body functions are suspended, preventing viral spread. Activate sleep function? Yes, no. Cold sleep. So we put him in the cold sleep, that gets the bracelet off of him. Arguably, unless there is no way to take him out of cold sleep, you would want to put him in cold sleep and then tell Clover to put you in cold sleep, get the bracelet off of you, and then you put her in cold sleep and get the bracelet off of her. And then that's 3 people with bracelets removed. Potentially that means you could get everybody's bracelets removed. You could play Nonary Games and betray whoever you want to get 9 points, open the door, and then everybody could just walk out because all their bracelets had been removed. What is that? What the heck is that? So one assumes once we put him in cold sleep, there's no way to thaw him out. But remember, freezing test. So whatever. We need to get out of here and tell everyone else about this. What should we tell it to do? Do we put him in cold sleep? Activate sleep function. Yes, no. No question. What if he got smashed like the plant? No, it is. Ah, so you just don't get a choice there. Cork is in the pod and is treating him right now. I probably shouldn't open it. And I can't click on the screen. Okay. So in this timeline, they don't put him in cold sleep. In some other timelines, somebody does put him in cold sleep, obviously. Let's go ahead and put that in. Look, there's a hand on the face now. This is a minute hand, pointing at 5 past. Alright, well, let's put the red in. It did it again. There's another hand. looks like an hour hand. It's pointing at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 minutes past. Well, okay. Let's think about this then. We've got 4 pieces 4 times. That might mean 4 things. So this was 0.15. Right? And then this was 620. And then this is 615. How does any of that work out here? Let's see. So 405, is that in? Let's see. 620. There's not enough spots here specifically for each of these to be a point on the clock. There's 7, 14, plus another 16. There's 20 spots. 0, 0, 15. Which could be either 3, which would bring you to B, or it wants you to go 15 spaces, which would be S. 615 at that point would be 21, which would be T, and then 620 would be 26, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, STOC, and then 405 would be 9, C, which would be S, right? Or P. C. No, 715 here. So 715 would be 22. So that would be O. And then we're just gonna have to make some notes here. There's no way we get through this without making some notes. All right. So number 1, which is labeled number 1, and we know that is not 6 but 715. So let's come over to memo, and we will say 1 7 dot 1 5 number 2. is 620. So 2 is 6 dot 20. And then 3 is at 0015, which that's really hard to read, frankly. 3 is specifically 0 0 dot 1 5. Like, some of these later escape rooms really are just like odd, slight difficulty spikes where like you already have to put up with a lot of frustration just going through repeated content. The idea of hitting one of these escape rooms and then rage quitting does feel like something that might happen for some players. So we need number 4 is 405. Right. 4 is 4 dot 0 5. Okay. So then if we come over to this, I think that's probably the best way to do this. So number 1 is 715. So my first guess, and we don't have a lot of room here, is 715 means 22. So you go this way, you know it's 7. You go this way, you know it's another 7. So that's 14. This way, in between has 3, and another 3 here has 3. So you know it's 20 from that point. So this is 21. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Ah, man, that count was off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. So we got that. Might as well even make a note here of 20. Underline that. And so 22 would be O if it's supposed to be that. 26 would be 23, 24, 25, 26. Which is that a C or G? C. So we'll say that's a C. And then 15 would be 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, which would be S. And then and then 4 would be 9. So the 7, 8, 9. That'd be OCSS. What if it said 4 pieces, though, as in 405? So, could it be S? And then from the S, we need another 9 piece steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Would that be then R? Then another step, 9 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So S, R, J. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. S. I don't think that's right. OCSS. Let's see. What if we would also think on a different hand, if it was number 4, then 4 might be C. Can't even read that. Let's come back to a different color. C would be the 4th there. Then 0 would be C again. And then 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. S. And well, if it was the number 4 clock, first and foremost, then perhaps it would be C, then P, then P, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, K, which that also doesn't really make any sense. Or if it was 4, in the sense that if it wasn't 15 but a single step for every 5 minutes, then might start off here with 7, which is J, and then 1, 2, 3, G. Oh, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. Let's no. Let's go ahead and generously erase all of this. Just be fairly careful. And try this again. The M here has to do with minutes, and the backwards has to do with hours. So you start on T, and then you go back 7 hours. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be S. And then you go forwards for minutes, either 15 minutes or 3. So S going 3 would be R. So the answer could be R. Or you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and it's G at that point. Then pod number 2 would start here, and then you'd go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so wait a minute, that may have been A instead, which inherently means it could also have been S, not G. Alright, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At this point, should be A. Right? I mean, it depends, I guess, a lot on whether you count this as a first step or not. Probably not. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. at that point should be S. And then if you went forward 20, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, which could either be H. I'll just scribble through all of that. Or it actually needs to go full 20, which full 20 would be A. So we have AHSA. Okay. 3 should be a good foundation point. Since it's 0, 0, we just start here. And then for the minutes, you either go 1, 2, 3 for C. Or you go, start here and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 for Y. And then we have number 4, which goes back 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, starting on the U. And then it's either going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I'm just counting a lot here. Or it's going to go forward 1 with an R. Did I do some of these backwards? Oh. Could be ACHR. That doesn't spell anything. Or SAYR. I feel like I may have done some of these backwards. Let's start again with 7 and double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be A. And then you go forward 15. That's 1, 2, 3. So that would be either U or it would either be 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that's S. We see also a red and green line here. Does that give us any more bit of information? I don't think so. Let's try this. Screen says the following: 4 pieces for the first password, 1 piece for the second password. If I touch it, the screen changes. 4-digit password, they're saying? Is it a passcode or is it a password? Because that's different. See, it feels like it would be too simplistic if the answer was something like 7604. That makes no sense. 405 doesn't, I think, give us 4 letters. Are we supposed to just spell 405? This is pointless. I don't know what the password I'm supposed to put here. Clover said something might have something to do with the board game. I guess I should go look at the game. Let's go look at the game and see if we can figure something more out with this. I was just thinking, maybe this is some sort of password hint. Huh. Come on. For the tablet. Add some kind of login screen, right? Yeah, so? Well, you need a 4-letter password, and we've got the numbers 1 through 4 on the left side of the board game looking thing. Don't you feel like there's gotta be some connection? Not super helpful. And looking at it this way doesn't help the memo any more than anything else. I think I'm ready to concede in this and give up because I think I'm 90% of the way there and I'm just missing that one last piece. 4 pieces for the first password, 1 piece for the second password. Should have read the instructions better. Let's see. UCHO. UCHO. Failed. RACHO. FOUR. Yeah, I'm ready to just go back to the walkthrough. This would be the second time that I've used the walkthrough because, yeah, I'm just not getting the final code that's supposed to be there. Almost certainly it is a word, that this isn't just some last bit of something. Okay, so looking at this walkthrough, and I'm not sure exactly how I'd get it from there, so I'm just gonna Google virtues last reward treatment. Let's see, is that gonna give me an answer? I think it will. Keep on scrolling down. This is really boring, I'm sure. They are confirming that the guess the number doesn't have a default password, so you would have to do it again. Okay, here we are. Board game puzzle. In this mini game, the player must input a password into the tablet using a picture of the board game. The hints to which direction you need to travel is the clocks on the treatment pods and the wall clock. After moving the spaces according to the clock, input the letter into the tablet. The puzzle gives you the escape password or file password. Note that the space you are on already on counts. Okay, so that was 1, so I was 1 off. See, the secret file password is the second password. This password uses the game board image you found on the monitor, the clock times you found, blah blah blah. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to get down to the details here. It's showing me the answers, but I'm trying to figure out the right way to address this. So I know that the first code, first letter, is a P. So how does 715 get us on a P? This is a question. If we go back 7 spots. Oh, I also wanted to mention that I looked at some video footage of this that has been recorded, and it seems like this game is in a square ratio. I don't know why. I'm seeing it fully widescreen in the game, so if it is not widescreen on YouTube, something weird about this window, I wouldn't be surprised. But anyways, 7 means go. You start here, and that's probably my mistake. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 15 goes 1, 2, 3 would not be what they mean by 15. So that was a red herring. You don't count each increment of 5 as 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How can that be? We needed to land on the P. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then, so maybe you don't count the one you're starting on in the first turn, but then you count the one you're starting on the second turn. 1, so that instead of this being, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm still off 1. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is just BS. It just doesn't, it's not working in my mind at all. It just does not make any sense. Unless I misread the clock. And that might be the core of it. Well, I'm not going to waste any more time on it. The answer to one code is the word pour. P-O-U-R. Hey, thought so. Nice work, Sigma. Yeah, I guess. Oh, wait, look. So that's going to give us a code. This is, it's a password for the safe. And then the other password, 4 pieces for the first password, 1 piece for the second password. See, I don't know where that 4 pieces comes in. Really. Like, I have no idea where the 4 pieces would have been. But I do know that the next code here is passed. So, yeah. I don't even think I really got 90% there on that one. That is frying my brain. In all fairness, I have been playing this game for probably 12 hours now, so my brain is just particularly tired. I did try to take some breaks, but this is also one of those games where you can't take prolonged breaks, or there's a high chance I just come back and rage quit or never come back at all. Good job. You logged in. Yeah, but look at the screen. This one's different. All the symbols are in different spots. I don't think there's anything else to do in the treatment facility. But yeah. I feel like my experience probably is going to be somewhat similar to a lot of people's experience here. You're going to try and burn through it. You're going to get exhausted. There's going to be at least 1 or 2 pain points as far as puzzles. We've been able to fairly easily play through, I would say, at least 4 out of the 6 of the escape rooms, and in that we've been able to do almost all of the puzzles in all of the escape rooms without any real challenge, or very little challenge, with the exception of 2. The good news is that those passwords don't change, so you can just like me look them up, and on a bigger level it doesn't really matter anyways, because once you get the easier always memorized passwords for the safe, which I guess you wouldn't even really call those passwords. I don't even know what you would call that, some kind of code, then you don't actually need to do anything else. Interesting, there's another auto injector. I had wondered if we were going to find out if there were actually 2 auto injector guns, and we may find out that there are multiple knives and multiple other weapons also. You did it, you opened it. Whoa, that thing looks dangerous. You mean this gun thing? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I think it's just an injection gun, and it's a helpful tool, not a weapon. Are you sure? I think that kind of depends on what's in that vial there. The label says neostigmine. Okay, neostigmine is the thing that you can inject into yourself to stop the tuberone from killing you. Huh? What did you just say? Neostigmine. Why, does that mean something? Let me see it. Neostigmine. Neostigmine. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. No good. I can't remember. Damn. I don't think it's bad though. Do you have any proof? Nope. Of course not. Could you let me hang on to this? Are you sure it's not dangerous? What would you do if it was? Alright, I trust you. You don't seem like a bad person. Hee hee. Thanks. Then how about I let you take me on a date sometime? We're getting back to that. If we got out of here in one piece. Yay. Cool. Moving on. We've still got a bunch of stuff here. So, could it have been in some of the timelines that somebody actually tried to inject neostigmine into Luna to possibly save her and failed, or Luna was faking her death and she injected herself with the neostigmine when she took her bracelet off? We've got a bunch of stuff in here. Yeah, but it's all flat stuff. Yes it is. First we've got a map. Floor B. Guess that means A is the top floor. Same old lines of dialogue every time. Next we've got some gray cards. Key cards. They've got moons on them too. This must be the moon keys the announcer was talking about. There are 2 of them, just like the sun keys. One for you and one for me. And the other one's for Cork. But he's... Well, there's not much point in giving it to him. I'll hang on to it for now. Okay, what's next? A piece of paper with something written on it? Here are some more AB game rules for you. Interesting, we hadn't seen any more AB rules. Not voting is not an option. If both parties refuse to vote, then everybody gets penalized. Didn't we already know that? Or has this timeline potentially made it so not voting would have been an option in the previous AB game until this was found? And now that it is found, it stopped being an option. In other words, one person out of every color group of 3 has to vote. In other words, all 3 of us can't not vote. One of us has to. So either you or me, you mean. Oh well, there's no reason to not pick ally in the next round anyways. Of course, we've got to get out of this room. And that'll be easy. Just look at the last thing in the safe. The key to the exit. I imagine we're just gonna lose this tablet from our inventory. Let's go. It's still kind of bad that you have to click on something that's not even on screen centered to get to the safe. Sun, moon. I almost would assume that the secrets unlocked in this gold file are going to just be secrets to, like, talking about cryostasis and that. View, it's open. Good job. That's twice you opened it. I would be really surprised if this tells us anything interesting or surprising, even. We got treatment pod. Pause now if you want to read this. See, CAS freezing system. Cold sleep. Pause now if you want to read this. Just big old walls of text. CS cells alive system. That's what that stands for. Pause now if you want to read that. Here we've got the 2 past Nonary games. This probably is useful information, and that is basically the. I think that's exactly the same image from the previous game, showing the missing children. Their faces were blurred out because outside of the United States, almost always the children's privacies are protected, even in the case of missing children. But also their faces are blurred out, so, and they're kids, so they wouldn't look anything like any of the characters in this game. So November 2018, 16 children were reported missing. In actuality, 18 children were taken, but 2 were never reported. The person in charge was someone we refer to as H. The purpose of the game was to conduct experiments on morphic resonance with the children as test subjects. I won't go into the specifics here, but short version is that it was the first Nonary game. On November 1st, 2027, a total of 9 people participated in this session. They were abducted just as the children had been, but this time H was not in charge of the game. Clover was a participant in both games, and now she finds herself playing the Nonary game once again. Here we have Esper Resonance, which they probably need to, or ESPER, ESPER, if you're not going to pronounce it the way the Japanese pronounce it. You probably needed to talk about this stuff because it's clearly happening to Phi, at least. Unless there's some other technology that creates time loops and it has nothing to do with morphic resonance and magic, the magic psychic abilities. In a weird way, it feels almost like Alice would have already known about all of what was going on and been able to create Esper resonance between people, because it felt like she was potentially influencing people's thoughts. Nonary veterans. Following 9 people were participants in the Nonary game and that Clover claims to have been a part of. And this is like the scene at the end of the good ending. You have Ace, a middle-aged man, who, spoiler alert, I guess was the bad guy. Snake, Clover's older brother, real name Light, who wasn't such a bad guy. Santa, arrogant, uncooperative young man who acted as a bad guy. Not as bad as Dio in the long run, in the eventual revelation, but also Dio is a little bit more cooperative than Santa. Clover, still Clover, the younger, just younger and with a jacket. Junpei, the character you play as in the game, hero of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. June is Junpei's childhood friend, real name Akane Kurashiki. 7, an amnesiac detective. We don't have an amnesiac detective, at least we don't think we do in K. We just have an amnesiac robot. Lotus, which was the belly dancer girl who was an attractive programmer who had 2 daughters who were kidnapped for the first game. And Kuboto was a skittish man who gets blown up at the very beginning of the game, which I guess the old lady is the equivalent of that. Here we have neostigmine, a type of carbamate compound which acts as a reversible acetylcholesterol inhibitor, exciting the parasympathetic nerves. This allows it to counteract the effects of the muscle relaxant tuberculin. It can be delivered with an injection gun just like the one you see here. So if you have this gun and you end up going below 0 or 2-0 and get injected by the bracelet, that could save you. But it's been like an hour and 30 minutes to get out of here, so let's hurry up. And I mean, it is a lot of hurry up and wait. We get out of here and then it's just going to be dialogue, and some of the dialogue might be new, but a lot of the dialogue is probably going to be very redundant. We might see somebody different dead, but we may see very little change at all.
45 minutes remain until Ambidex Game polling closes.
So yeah, you immediately get rushed because Dio opened the door.
Open one of the AB rooms.
Why would they do that? Whatever, we should be heading back anyway. So they don't even have a conversation about leaving Quark there? I guess there's nothing to really talk about. I head for the door.
Wait.
Clover's voice stopped me. What is it? I turned to see her pointing toward the wall with the treatment pods.
The screen, it changed.
What?
The screen on the pod's monitor thingy.
Did I turn my back and Clover go hit a button on it? Oh yeah, it says recent operational records. I stepped closer and began to read. What it said was interesting. Currently treating 1 subject. Can it treat more than 1? 1 subject had to mean Quark. This was the pod we put him into after all. I read on. 7:48, 1 subject released. 8:06, 1 subject successfully restored. Are those the plants, or is this a thing where this is how Dio snuck into the facility originally? Was he hiding in the treatment pods? I don't see how that would really have helped him much. He would have had to have snuck through a lot of AB doors to get back into the he would have had to snuck through a lot of chromatic doors to get to the AB room. Let's see, 8:16, cold sleep mode disengaged. Beginning restoration of 1 subject. These don't have dates, just times, which is fairly useless. Also, we've seen time. Apparently, the security systems have a completely different time system than the times being used here, which seems odd. All prior records have been erased. Authorization admin. Check the other pods. They were all the same. So, were there 3 people in cold sleep, or more than 3 people and there's just more cold sleep treatment pods somewhere else? Because that's questionable, to say the least, that all 9 of the people were kidnapped, put in cold sleep, and then released later. Well, what is all this?
I think it's saying that about 8 hours ago, somebody in this pod woke up from cold sleep.
Has the game been going on for 8 hours?
Well, 3 people actually. 1 for each pod. They all say the same thing, see?
That was before we all woke up, huh? I mean, it hasn't been 8 hours yet. So the 3 people could be 3 of us. They could have been captured earlier, don't know how much earlier. Then they were thawed out 8 hours ago and carried into the AB rooms.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
The numbers don't fully add up there.
I really don't think there'd be anyone else in here besides the 9 of us.
Because you could assume that K is a robot, and that gets you to 4 people, but that doesn't really explain the 5 remaining people.
Well, I guess it's actually the 10 of us, huh?
Yeah. If you count the old woman we found, then it would be 10, wouldn't it? So, who were the 3 people? 3 pod people.
Don't ask me. How am I supposed to know that? All it says is subject. A, that's creepy. B, it doesn't tell us anything about who they might have been.
It doesn't say when they were put into cold sleep either.
This bit, where it says, all prior records have been erased. Authorization admin. That seems pretty suspicious to me.
So the user login might just be admin, but we still would need a password. I wonder why they wouldn't just write the time though.
What?
Well, you said it yourself. The log says 8 hours ago, not 9:15 a.m. Those minus signs have to mean this far in the past. Why would it? Who would ever write the time like that?
Yeah, that is weird.
Maybe Zero Senior doesn't want us to know what the actual time is.
Why not?
Good question. Hell if I know. Speaking of things I don't know, why did this stuff suddenly show up? Seems like whatever it was triggered this. Whatever it was that triggered this activated as soon as we opened the door to leave.
Zero Senior set it up to work that way?
Yeah, but why? That's what I'm asking. What reason would he have to do that?
He wanted us to see the records.
Perhaps. But he deleted a bunch of data. Why?
Could it all be a trick?
Yeah.
All of
Trick.
these records are fake. Zero Senior just set it up to mess with us.
Could be. So you're saying these were just a joke?
Well, I can't say for sure, but it seems possible, right?
It's possible, yeah. No, it doesn't make sense.
Well, let's ask somebody else. Maybe they can think of something.
Yeah, you're right. If the AB gates have opened, we need to be heading back to the warehouse anyway.
And we need to tell everyone what happened with Quark.
We double-checked that Quark was alright in his pod, then hurried out of the treatment center. Then we rushed back to the loop that shows us where the next chromatic doors are, if we are going to actually maybe get through them this time. Probably not. I feel like even if I did have the answer, they may still give us a to be continued ending first, and then I would have to jump to that point and rewind to answer it. Is this another warehouse?
It looks just like the other one. Hey, could you show me that map? Yeah, I thought so. This one is right under the floor A warehouse.
So it is.
Oh, are those?
So I wonder if the crane picked up an AB room and just dropped it. Could it put a hole in the floor? Probably not.
And there are 3.
Okay, let's go take a closer look. I'm skipping through some of this.
These are chromatic doors.
Clover still kind of jumps between being kind of an idiotic joke character and sometimes being
Just like the others.
able to at least observe and understand things Sigma may be missing. But they kind of accomplish that by also making Sigma a bit stupider when he is just paired with Clover. I guess we'll be coming back here pretty soon.
Well, we might not have to.
What do you
We
mean?
both have 6 BP right now.
Yeah, that's true.
We're
So,
a pair, right? And
Yeah.
who's our opponent?
Quark.
Exactly. But he's in the pod right now, so
If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
you aren't saying we should pick Betray, are you?
weren't you planning to? I thought that was why you were okay with option C when we were making the groups.
No, that's not. I just thought that with Quark's condition, I'd be able to choose ally and not worry about getting betrayed.
Come on, you don't need to lie to me. We're partners. That means we share the same destiny. So let's not hide anything from each other, okay?
So it does kind of feel like you could probably betray here and you would escape with Clover and we would get Clover's end. I'm not hiding anything.
You're serious? You were really going to pick ally? Whoa, hold on a second there. We might not get another chance like this. Let's say we ally and get up to 8 points. We don't know if we'll be able to get any points next round. For all we know, there might not even be a next round. There are 3 other people with 6 BP, right?
There's clearly going to be another round, but yeah, if other people get 9 points, that's before us, that's going to be a problem.
Dio, K, and Phi. What do you think's going to happen if one of them gets 9 points this round?
That's not going to happen.
Why not?
Let's see. Phi and Luna are playing against Timoji, which Timoji has 1 and Luna has 1. So either they betray and nobody dies, or they ally and everybody gets 2 points, or somebody betrays and somebody dies. He's only got 1 BP left though. I really don't think they'd pick betray. If Timoji picked ally, they'd kill him. The same goes for Dio. He's playing against Alice and Kay, and Alice's BP.
No! Don't even think about that.
I agree, but her BP is the same as Timoji's, so unless Dio's willing to kill someone, he won't be able to get his BP to 9.
Alice has to vote betray.
Yeah, that's generally the best defense choice.
But if Dio chooses ally,
Then-
K would have 9 BP.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, it's just like I said then. If K gets 9 BP, then there won't be a 3rd AB game.
We kind of know that's true. We've seen it twice. Well, that's not necessarily the case.
So it's over when someone gets 9 BP.
No. As long as that person doesn't open the number 9 door, the game goes on.
So you think that K will stay here, even if he gets enough points to leave?
Well, the scenario might be slightly different if we can get back to the warehouse and tell Kay that we've found a treatment, or we've got Quark in a treatment pod, so he doesn't immediately need to run and get help. But we've seen 2 different logical justifications for why Kay left, and it kind of feels like Kay will always just find a logical justification for doing what he wants. I don't know, but
No,
it's possible.
not.
Well, we can think about how we're going to vote later. For now, we need to get back to the others. I guess it's worth pointing out, though, also that every other timeline that we've been in, we've seen in the background the painting on the wall and done absolutely nothing with it, which does kind of imply that this is the perfect end, and we just somehow stumbled onto it on accident. There's a couple things I've got to do when we get back.
Fine.
Okay, back to floor A then. Let's move. I turned and headed for the exit. After a few moments, I heard Clover's footsteps falling behind me. We never really got a confirmation whether the central door or the right door opened. I guess that might have been the central door. We've yet to see any of the left doors open. Which that potentially means that there's 3 more escape rooms for the second round, and there are probably 3 escape rooms would be my guess for the third round. But I also wouldn't be surprised once we start getting past the perfect ending if we don't have 3 more escape rooms and just a lot of novel sections that just go on and on. Alice is back. We haven't seen her in a while. Sorry, I'm just pausing. I'm noticing that her stomach seems oddly twisted in the way it's shadowed. Her upper stomach, under boobs there. And her, if you look at her shoulders, it is oddly like she's just slightly twisted. Not an awkward, inhuman twist by any means, but just not looking straightforward.
Oh, thank goodness you're back.
Yep.
Are we the last ones? Yeah, and see now she's straight again in that pose. Everybody's here.
Where's Quark?
Timoji's expression was furious, and from the way he was stomping toward me, I felt like I only had a few seconds before I was on the ground with his hands around my neck. I explained what had happened with Quark and the pods as quickly as I could.
So are these pod things really safe?
Probably.
Probably?
No, they're definitely safe. He's
Well, are
fine.
they safe or aren't they? Look, I'm just worried about him, all right? Can you take me to this treatment center, Clover? Don't worry. We've still got 20 minutes left. Plenty of time to go have a look and come back.
Okay. Come on then.
As soon as she finished, she walked off. She was off. Timoji followed at their heels. In a blink of an eye, they were gone, out the magenta door. Doesn't really matter what door they went through, but whatever. Alright, you guys have got some splaining to do, says Sigma.
I beg your pardon?
You opened the AB gates before Clover and I got back, didn't you? I want to know why the hell you'd go and do something like that.
Sigma, take a look.
As she spoke, Phi gestured toward the line of AB rooms. Only one was open.
It's not like we opened them all up.
So you're saying only one person or one pair jumped the
Yes.
gun here? Well then, who was it?
I opened it.
So it was you. Figured as
Not really
much.
a big deal, okay? I mean, you came right back.
Yes, Dio. Yes, it is a big
Why?
deal.
If you hadn't made it back by the deadline, you'd have just defaulted to ally.
And this is another timeline where Dio seems to be not aware of the supplemental rules. No, not just. Are you telling me you didn't know? Didn't you find one of these notes?
What?
We found this in the treatment center.
There was no such thing in the pressure exchange chamber.
They were in the pressure exchange chamber.
I didn't see one in the pantry either.
And they didn't see one in the pantry. Huh? Well, whatever. You should really probably read it, though.
Here are some more AB game rules for you. Not voting is not a option. If both parties refuse to vote, then every bunny gets penalized.
See, it feels like Dio and maybe somebody else is stealing these optional rules. And there's potentially a timeline branch where you just don't ever see these rules because somebody's stolen it. And that might affect the story, it might not. Because I'm almost certain that in the lounge branch, you got these rules in the first round, and now I'm getting them in the second round.
In other words, one person out of every color group of 3 has to vote.
You get it now? If we hadn't gotten back in time, Clover, Quark, and I could have died. And you just...
Right, I get it. Sorry. Cut me some slack though, man. I didn't know.
So you wouldn't have opened the gate if you did?
Of course I wouldn't have.
Yes, you would. It would have been helpful in writing Dio if he did 1 or 2
You said the room you
minimal
went into was a
nice
treatment
things.
center, right? If
Yeah.
they treat people there, I think they'd have shelves of medicine and stuff. Did you find any Excelavir?
No, it's not really that kind of place. It's just had those pods and that was it. Besides, if we found anything to cure the Radical 6, we wouldn't have put Quark in the pod.
I see. Can the pod cure Radical 6?
No, unfortunately.
How do you know that?
Oh, well, it said so on the screen next to the pod. Something about how it can provide relief from the symptoms, but it can't actually cure the disease. That's better than nothing, no? Oh, right, there was one more thing about the pods I should tell you. As quick as I could, I explained what the records had said about the pod's occupants and their cold sleep.
Cold sleep?
Are you suggesting that 3 of us were, until recently, cryogenically frozen?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's what's going on. If you can trust what we read, yeah.
Which of us are the pod people then?
Good question. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It didn't say who they were or even when they were frozen.
So this cold sleep.
It almost certainly has to be Sigma, Clover, and Alice, because Alice and Clover were kidnapped at the same time, and both of them said they were kidnapped a year after the second Nonary game, and Sigma has said very specifically that he was kidnapped on Christmas in 2028. So every other character could think it's 2038 and not really question it.
That means they basically froze the body solid, right? Not like how a bear or something hibernates where it just slows way down.
Yeah, I think so.
So what would happen to the heart?
What?
Wouldn't it stop when you were put into a cold sleep?
Yeah, I assume it would.
Your heart stops. Your bracelet comes off.
I'm surprised she figured that out. Oh, so if we go into cold sleep, our bracelets would come off.
Then we can just defrost ourselves right away.
You said there were 3 pods, right?
Yes.
We'd only need to do it 3 times for the 9 of us.
Uh-huh.
I imagine that will work for you, but perhaps not so much for me.
The armor? Well,
I'm sure we'll figure something out.
we can let you get 9 points, and we can get the
We should go have a look at anything.
we can get everybody else's bracelet off, and it still works.
Plan once we know more.
Of course.
That certainly takes you in a different direction.
What?
Wow, that was a big jump. Just fade to black, fade back in here, and we're just saying what?
What do you mean the cold sleep function doesn't work?
I'm sorry.
You don't have anything to apologize for, Luna. Zero Senior must have just locked it down.
But when Clover and I were in here, it worked.
Yeah, I remember checking it.
Then that bastard set this up.
So it almost certainly means that either Quark or Clover is Zero's senior. I mean, it kind of has to. Either that or Zero Jr. disabled the cold sleep, or yeah, Sigma is somehow Zero Senior. That might be the case too. Maybe Sigma is just crazy.
Oh, that's low.
It is not pleasant, but consider this. We have seen how thorough Zero is. Would he really have left such an obvious loophole?
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. If Zero Jr. heard me, he could have shut it off.
That's true.
Whatever the case, it is an unfortunate outcome.
Unfortunate? Really? You sure? Aren't you just a little bit relieved? After all, we were gonna get our bracelets off while you were stuck with yours.
How could you say that? I would never be so petty as...
Before Kate could finish, the announcer's voice echoed throughout the facility. Come on, come on. This is all new dialogue, so I'm glad for this, but also it's kind of just so far nothing. There's just not a lot of meat on the bone as far as a lot of these novel sections.
Any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Time's running out.
Look, the door's not even drawn in this scene. Why is the door not drawn? That's ridiculous.
We should get back, guys.
Oh, she was just in front of the door, I guess.
I can't leave Quark.
Are you nuts, old man? You're a solo.
Yeah. So by him not voting, then that allows Phi to either betray and escape, or Luna to betray and get to 4, or them both to ally.
Luna and Phi could kill you.
Yeah, I know. I've only got one BP.
Exactly. If you don't vote, you'll default to ally. All they have to do is pick betray.
We won't. You staying here won't change our vote.
Right. We always intended to choose ally. Tenmyoji staying here is just another reason for us to stick to that plan.
Yeah, somewhat believable.
Has the same number of BP as you, Tenmyoji. Normally, the safe plan would be to choose betray. Since you will be unable to betray them, then Phi and Luna can choose to ally without worrying about their own points.
Yes.
Well, there you go. I trust Phi and Luna. I'm sure they'll choose ally.
Sounds good. Okay then, Timoji, you take care of Quark.
You think I need you to tell me that? I won't take my eyes
Yep.
off him for a minute.
Some of this dialogue is really repeated, even if you're in a different area.
Come on. We don't have much time left. We need to go.
There's a game called Her Story I covered, where you literally are just watching videos, full motion videos, over and over again, trying to figure out the secret of the story of what happened. And there's a lot of repetition in there. And that creator eventually made another game called Telling Lies, which people didn't seem to like as well. But even in that case, I think there is a pretty good direct comparison to Her Story and this game, in the fact that Her Story, even though you are watching the same videos potentially 2-3 times throughout the entire playthrough, at no point were you really going to accidentally see the exact same video 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And in Her Story, all the videos are pretty much out of order anyways. So perhaps a Nonary game could work that way, where there's just a lot of random scenes where you would just pass out, wake up in a scene that scene could be far in the future or far in the past, or just directly in the future or the past of the scene you were just in. That might tell a much more interesting story, and it might be a method to get rid of a lot of the redundancy here, because it does feel very much like you are just obliged to have some of these novel sections. The game writer felt obliged to have some of these novel sections when they really are just mostly redundant. I mean, even if the game itself just started fast forwarding, and that was, they just explained that as a effect of Radical 6, where the game goes into skip mode and just says, you've already seen this, you don't need to see it again, that'd be great. Or if the time loops changed so that entire conversations didn't happen, that would be great too. We still have a very long journey, and I just don't really look forward to the amount of redundancy we're going to see. But let's keep going. Back at the Floor A warehouse, we opened the AB rooms. 2 rooms didn't open. Specific rooms. Interesting. Seems like everybody goes into the same room every time. But that doesn't seem to affect anything. Alright, Clover. We should probably head in too.
Okay.
So we press the start button. Then we're probably going to have a conversation.
Sigma, do you remember what I said back in the other warehouse?
Yeah. You told me we should betray Quark, since we might not get another chance like this, right?
Yeah. Can I, take that back?
That's interesting that she's going to take it back. Huh?
I changed my mind a little bit after talking to Tenmyoji. I think we should choose ally.
Hey, that's more than just a little bit. That's like someone trading in a Shih Tzu for a German Shepherd. What happened with you two? Did he say something to you?
I can't tell you.
So Tenmyoji seems to be able to convince Clover to change her vote somehow. And I wonder if what he told her is that everybody is dead outside and infected with Radical 6 or almost dead.
I just can't.
What, why?
Laugh if I did anyway.
I won't laugh. Promise.
Well, I still can't tell you.
Hey, come on.
I told Tenmyoji I wouldn't tell anybody.
Alright, fine. I won't ask about it again. But Tenmyoji doesn't really have anything to do with this, right? Our opponent is Quark.
No, he does matter. Quark is really important to Tenmyoji. If we betray Quark, we're betraying Tenmyoji.
Yeah.
Come on, don't you remember? When we were going into the red, blue, and green doors, Tenmyoji said something.
I didn't say there wasn't anyone I trusted. There's one person, Clover.
So he put his trust in Clover.
You'll keep him safe.
I can't betray somebody who'd say that about me.
You seem pretty ready to betray him back on floor B.
That's because I didn't know who he was.
Oh. So you're saying you know who Tenmyoji really is?
If what he told me was true, yeah.
1 minute remains until Ambidex Game polling closes.
Well, we're gonna ally the first time, then we'll rewind and betray.
Ally.
So we'll see both endings anyways. You're gonna try and vote yourself?
If I try, you'll just throw me off, right?
Well, she did try once, and that's exactly what happened.
I don't think I'm strong enough to fight you. So...
Alright. With that, I turn to face the voting machine. I definitely do get to vote way more often than anyone else. The question was, what would I do? Ally or betray? Just as Clover had said, betraying Quark was like betraying Tenmyoji. That wasn't even taking into consideration that Quark was just a kid, and he was infected with a deadly disease that would almost certainly kill him if we don't do something. How could I betray something like that? Only a monster would take advantage of a helpless child for their own gain. On the other hand, what Clover had said in the warehouse on floor B was true. It was unlikely that I'd get a chance like this again. If I choose Betray, then I'd have 9 BP. I'd be able to escape this godforsaken hellhole.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Now, when this counts down, does it always count down to 0 in the AB game? So, what would my choice be? Because if it counts down to 0 here, that might be an indication Clover is 0. What would I do? Ally or Betray? And if it turned out that Alice and Clover were actually robots, then our trust in Clover might be, and Alice, might be actually a mistake. That's something I hadn't considered before, is that we may literally be dealing with just clones / robots of Clover and Alice, and it's not the same Alice and Clover in the previous game. And they've just been programmed to think or act like they are.
3, 2, 1.
No, I don't think they ever say 0 in this one. Ally. I don't think it would work if it said 0.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex Gates.
There's a high chance that somebody has 9 points at the end of this, so you're going to get a bad ending no matter what.
What did you choose, Sigma?
You didn't see me push the button?
No.
Huh. Well, you'll know in a moment. Let's go. I gave a light pat on her shoulder and headed toward the wall where the results would be displayed.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed.
Do we really need to hear the sentence? No, let's hit A and skip some of this. And see, I don't feel like these images really mean much of anything. I think they're just kind of randomized. So K and Dio betrayed, they allied, and we allied. Which, I guess that brings almost everybody up to the same round, except for K and Dio and Alice, who are in a bad position. But I guess that does keep everybody alive here. I don't know how you hit a dead end in this scenario and don't make it to the white rooms.
Points have been assigned or subtracted.
Nobody has 9. Nobody's been killed. Just the old lady.
Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
And that shows you the colors and pairs.
So you chose Ally, huh?
Yeah. Quark is sick, a kid, and unable to vote. I couldn't bring myself to betray someone like that.
Thank you.
No need to thank me. Only did what anyone would have done. So you guys chose Ally too.
Of course. Tenmyoji had only 1 BP left, and he was guaranteed to vote Ally.
This is an interesting, I guess, bit of evidence that Phi won't directly kill somebody just for no reason.
So there's no way we could betray somebody in that position.
If we had, then he'd...
At least she won't when Luna's with her. Yeah, he didn't have much choice. Alice, K, and Dio, on the other hand, seem to have had a less pleasant round.
Hey, what the hell is your problem? You're either crazy or just an asshole. Were you trying to kill me?
No, nothing like that.
Well, then what was it like? If we'd voted Ally,
You would be dead. The needles in your bracelet would have activated, killing you.
Although we may have been able to inject her in this timeline with the injection and saved her.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't think there was any way in hell you guys would choose Ally, not with Alice's BP at 1. The only way you could possibly vote was Betray. Picking Ally when I knew you guys would pick Betray would have been suicide.
you can't die. You've got 6 BP.
Well, maybe not immediately, no. But I would have been signing my own death warrant. Heck, not just mine. Everyone except Kay's.
What?
Didn't you think it through? Your vote was always gonna be betray. Let's say I was a raving lunatic and picked Ally. What would happen at Kay's BP?
6 plus 3 would make 9.
That's an odd voice line. All the other voice lines have sounded alright. Maybe a little quiet, but that really felt like that was recorded in a completely different studio or closet.
See? Then it'd be game over. Life over. He'd open the number 9 door and blow this popsicle stand. And that'd leave us twisting in the wind, living out the rest of our miserable lives stuck in this place. You see? That's why I chose betray. I did it to save all our necks, including yours.
Well, Dio's smart on his feet, I suppose, as far as lying. Alice gritted her teeth and scowled fiercely at Dio, apparently trying to think of a rebuttal before finally snorting indignantly and stalking away. Shortly thereafter, the warehouse was filled with a rumbling sound as the door sliding shut. The
Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex star keys. There is no
same information. As many times as we want, huh? Then that means
we can play the AB game as many times as we want, right?
Hey, didn't Zero Jr. say something about this?
As soon as the gates close, a pair and soloist.
yeah, he did. So you guys can all show can you guys all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all our colors and groups are this time. Within moments, a series of wrists were extended for me to examine. Red solo, green, blue pair, but I can't recognize these wrists. Again, it would have been very nice if half of these female characters had like different color nail polish that was shown. And oddly, Alice does have blue nail polish, but is it shown in these images? Also, maybe a scar or a bracelet might be helpful. It would also be useful if a couple of these guys had something specific too. Like that may be Luna, that may be Fi. Don't know. Yeah, Alice does have the blue fingernail polish, and it does show in this instance. But also Alice is the tanned Egyptian, so her skin tone is completely different. So she's very recognizable. I see. Luna and Clover are a cyan pair, and Fi and Alice are a magenta pair. The remaining 3 are all solos. K is red, Dio green, and I'm blue. So how are the groups supposed to work for the next round? I think the next doors are going to be those white ones down on the floor B warehouse.
Yeah, I heard about those. Alice told me about them while we were here waiting for you and Clover. I think I've got them figured out.
Yeah, so lay it out for us. How are the groups going to shake out this time? Are there multiple options? Fi nodded and began to explain. Option A. Timoji, Quark, Yellow, pair up. Oh, they're all pairs in the secondary colors. Is that always the case on the third round? I think it might be. Timoji, Quark, Yellow, pair up with me, Blue, to open one door. And I feel like the doors, since they're all white, are going to end up in the exact same room anyways, which that's going to be weird. Find Alice Magenta pair up with Dio Green to open another door. Luna and Clover Cyan pair up with K Red to open the last one. Yeah, how are we going to name or label the different white doors? When it's just going to be the one on the left, the one in the middle, and the one on the right.
Oh? Is there only one option?
Yes. No other combinations would be able to open the secondary doors. Admittedly, Tenmyoji and Quark aren't here for us to check, but I'm sure they're the yellow pair. If they weren't, then Sigma would be stuck without anybody he could pair up with.
Oh, God.
This, I think, is a new pose for Alice too, with her head twisted and her arms crossed. That probably is a pose that should have been used a lot more.
I never thought I'd have to put up with Dio again.
It does pretty much, very much contrast with the very standard standing in place pose of Dio.
Just didn't think hard enough then.
Of course, it's still nowhere as bad as him tipping his hat as a pose.
Sooner or later, everybody puts up with Dio. Wait.
So, what should we do now?
We must have gone through a white door at some point. Otherwise, I don't know how we got into a security office.
It looks like we have a lot of time until the primary doors open.
Primary doors? That's the wrong key phrase to use. About 80 minutes for somebody to get murdered.
I'm worried about Quark's condition.
And see, if Alice is infected with Radical 6 at this point, she's really not showing a lot of symptoms.
Those pods can't cure Radical 6. He still needs help.
Well, we don't have anything to lose, so we might as well look for that medicine. Excelavir, right?
Yeah. What about the rest of you?
Oh, I'll help.
As will I.
Me too.
Fine. I guess I can help.
What about you, Sigma?
Be really ridiculous for me to say no when everybody else said they would. Of course I'll help. What kind of jerk would I be?
We should split up and search.
So everybody splits up, and the thing that forces everybody to split up is Quark. After some discussion, Dio and Kay were assigned to the pantry, Luna and Alice the treatment center, and Clover, Phi, and myself to the pressure exchange chamber.
Shall we regroup in the Floor B warehouse 10 minutes before the doors open?
We all nod. Kay turned to Alice and Luna.
You are going to the treatment center, correct?
Yes.
Then please remember to tell Tenmyoji where we intend to meet and when.
Okay.
You must also remember to bring Quark with you. I am concerned about removing him from the pod, but it can't be helped. Without Quark's bracelet, Sigma and Tenmyoji will be unable to open the secondary door.
Right.
Good. Looks like we got all that straightened out.
Yeah. So, unless there's a timeline when someone specifically, where Quark is specifically not sick, I don't see how you stop them from breaking up at this point. With a final nod to one another, we split up, each team heading in a different direction. And I guess that means, even though it looks like we are about to hit a dead end, unless I'm going to get murdered, I feel like the story is just going to keep going. And this is going to be a lot longer than it seems like it's going to be, which seems to all happen quite a lot. So this is the pressure exchange chamber. It's been solved. So this is the pressure exchange chamber.
No, this is the prep room. There are 2 levels. The actual pressure exchange chamber is downstairs. How do you know that? Alice told me. She was one of the people who investigated this room.
Did you talk to her while you were waiting for us back in the warehouse? Well, let's head downstairs then. All the lockers are open in the novel version of this, whereas in the escape room version of this, they wouldn't be open. Also, all the metal plates are still up. So this is the real thing?
Seems like it.
Or do they have something like this here?
Well, this is just what Alice told me, but...
Apparently the pressure inside the facility was a lot higher than the pressure outside. This was part of the system designed to keep the virus from getting in. It did mean, however, that we need to go through decompression process in order to get outside.
Remember all those suits along the wall of the prep room? Those keep you from getting infected. We won't even be able to enter the pressure exchange chamber if we don't have them on.
I see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Then the newspaper article was right.
Unfortunately, that seems pretty likely.
So the air out there is teeming with Radical 6. The fact that these suits exist and Quark is infected pretty much implies that that Zero Senior either intentionally wanted to get the people in this Nonary game infected with Radical 6 or just didn't care. It would have been easy enough to have everybody in a suit at the beginning of the game and be told not to take the suits off. Of course, everybody may already be infected, so it may not matter.
Yeah.
Something's been bothering me.
What is it?
Aren't you saying that if we put on those suits, we can go into the pressure exchange chamber and go outside, right?
Oh. No, we can't do that. The door beyond the pressure exchange chamber is locked up tight.
Damn it, just one door between us and freedom. Although I bet it really isn't. I bet that's totally not the case. And we kind of know there is a bomb at some point, so if there was a bomb, we could probably put it next to that door and blow the door open.
Well, if you look at it that way, it's the same as the number 9 door.
Okay, yeah, but...
Whatever. We need to be focusing on finding that Accelavir. Quark needs it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll go look around upstairs. You two take this floor, all right?
I'm back to yawning at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I pretty much can rest for a few hours and then I get back to recording an episode and then I start to get tired again because one episode is like 3 hours long. We looked everywhere we could think of but turned up nothing. Eventually I couldn't keep my mouth shut any longer. Hey, what do you think the deal is with the stuff about the world being infested with some crazy virus? A pandemic seems like it would make the news, but I don't remember hearing anything. Wait a minute. You mentioned it, didn't you? Back when Dio was asking questions. When we were in the infirmary. It was right after Quark lost it.
Have any of you guys heard anything about any sort of viral pandemic?
Yeah, Alice said she had heard of that.
No.
She said no.
But
Then Alice said,
I have heard rumors about a virus being used as a bioweapon.
see, this is where Alice, we'd really like her to come clean. So what's the rumor she was talking about? I've got the feeling you and Alice were talking about the same thing. Clover, what do you know? What are you and Alice anyway? I heard you guys belong to some sort of organization, but what is it? Clover was quiet for a long time. She bit her thumbnail and looked down at the floor. Then finally she lifted her head up and met my eyes.
fine. I think I can trust you. Just don't tell Alice, okay?
Don't tell Alice, okay? Alright. Promise. Clover nodded and began to talk. I listened with rapt attention at a complete loss of words. Here's what she said. Alice and I are agents of the SOIS, which is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense. Okay, so we at least know they are apparently working for the Department of Defense of the United States, one assumes. I mean, there's probably plenty of countries with a Department of Defense. We see an eagle with a star. SOIS stands for Special Office of Internal Security, and we're an elite intelligence division that investigates potentially disruptive, dangerous elements such as domestic or foreign terrorists, radical political splinter groups, and religious organizations with extreme agendas that could pose a threat to the state or citizenry. Our existence hasn't been made public, so there are only a few people who even know we exist. You're probably wondering how I even got involved in something like that, huh? Yeah, I definitely am. Well, it started when I met Alice. I told you that I've played the Nonary game twice before, right? Well, this was after the second time, so about a year ago. We had just escaped and we were all stuffed into this SUV barreling across the desert. I was driving. Oh yeah, I forgot they let her drive for some crazy reason. And that's when I saw her. Alice. So here's the one scene where you see as Alice, as it's pretty much a joke. And she had like this cryogenic ability, so it was like all ice, and you can see ice at the bottom of the screen. Inherently, you also see that as a frozen Egyptian princess, I'm fairly certain she was Egyptian, this flat 2D image where you just see the backside of her looks way better than the 3D models, and it's totally disconnected. It was really just a bit of cheesecake to show some tight, clean outfit with some butt and boob. Her hair looks longer in this than it was originally, so she got a haircut, I guess, and her outfit was clothing more at that point, and that's surprising. You would have thought Alice would have put on more clothes, not less, for the sequel. She was standing next to the road with her thumb out. She was already working for the SOIS, and she'd been on her way to the building we'd been trapped in as part of her investigation. Oh, so maybe she isn't actually the Alice that they were talking about in the previous game at all. Maybe she's just a different Alice. I doubt it, though. It would be much more believable if she was the Egyptian princess who had been unfrozen sometime earlier and then come back to the Nonary Game facility. But on the way there, her car had broken down. We offered to give her a ride, of course. After she got in, we started talking, and it turned out that Alice had gotten a tip that the terrorists she was after were in the building we'd been trapped in. We couldn't see how us playing the Nonary game had anything to do with the terrorists, but Alice had a suggestion. Maybe the two people who trapped you there are the terrorists. That didn't seem very likely to us, but we were chasing after them anyways, so we decided to bring Alice with us. I guess maybe the bad guys did escape at the end of that game. I don't remember. It really hasn't even been that long. There's no justification for me not remembering what happened at the end of the first game, other than that there's just so much repeated content. Unfortunately, we didn't find them, so we're kind of getting a wrap-up of the story of the first game. As far as we know, they're still out there now on the run. Anyway, we were taken back to SOIS headquarters and put into custody. I guess they thought there had to be some kind of connection between us being kidnapped and the terrorist group they were investigating, but they must have not found anything, because after a few days of questioning, they let us go. We all went home and returned to our lives. But things didn't go back the way they had been. My mom got real worried about me and my brother, since we had gotten kidnapped twice now, so she hired bodyguards first. Good move. Oh, and I haven't told you about my brother, have I? He's super awesome, for one, and he was in both of the last two Nonary games too. So anyway, we were grabbed twice, but the people behind the two Nonary games were totally different. That didn't matter to my mom, though. After that, all these huge men in black suits followed me and my brother everywhere. Of course, her mom buying her bodyguards does also go back to point out that Clover is basically 18 at most. It was awful. We were always being watched. People would look at us funny because we were being followed around by a bunch of creepy looking guys. I couldn't stand it. Just when I thought I'd finally be free, all that was waiting for me was another kind of prison. The only time I was really happy was when I was hanging out with my brother. So we were talking it over one day and decided to leave, like run away. So we did it, and after that we lived on our own. I worked in a cafe and composed music. He plays the harp. I worked in a cafe and he composed music. He plays the harp and started writing these kinds of new agey music. It's kind of popular, so we didn't have to worry too much about surviving. Sometimes he'd play at little venues like coffee houses and stuff, and his fans would show up and listen to him play and cry. Or some of them would meet on their own and recite stuff from the book he'd written and play his songs. I know that sounds kind of like weird and culty, but they just do that stuff on their own, okay? My brother doesn't have anything to do with it. Is her brother the leader of the Free the Soul cult? That would be really crazy if Light/Snake ended up being the leader of the cult. Also, I don't know how the brother would say that his other brother left had died without Clover knowing about that. Anyway, we did it for a while, and then one day Alice showed up. I need your help, she told us. We need people who can do what you can do. So we went to the location she gave us, and it turned out to be the headquarters of the SOIS, where they'd taken us after the second Nonary game. They put us in a room with about a dozen or so other people who were all about the same age as us. A bunch of them looked familiar too. It only took a moment for us to realize how we knew each other. They were the kids from the first Nonary game. We were all excited to see each other again. So in this instance, this does say that Clover has more recently seen the kids from the first Nonary game, so she would probably recognize anybody who was in the first Nonary game if they were in this one. We were all excited to see each other again, and we were hugging and shaking hands and stuff, and then Alice walked in. The whole room went quiet. She walked up to the podium and looked around the room, making eye contact with each of us. Right now, a terrorist organization is preparing for a major attack. They plan to trigger a viral pandemic. If they succeed, they will strike a massive blow against all humanity, not just any one country. It's possible that we, as a species, will die completely. We are doing our best to prevent this, but we need your help. You are what we call espers. You have the ability to access the morphogenetic field. We need that. I'm guessing you don't know what any of that is, but basically we can do this thing that's kind of like telepathy. I mean, it isn't really telepathy, but that's probably the closest thing, okay? Espers can resonate their consciousness with another person through this thing called the morphogenetic field. The purpose of the first Nonary game was to research the ability, so they kidnapped kids who had the potential to do it and threw them in the game. Alice had gathered us up as kids, gathered up all the kids from that experiment. Well, I mean, it had been 9 years since it happened, so we weren't really kids anymore. Anyway, everybody she brought in was an Esper. That included me and my brother, of course. I bet you think I'm just making all this up, huh? I don't blame you. Big old wall of text with no dialogue voiced. It is pretty crazy. I mean, I was even starting to forget that I could do that stuff. So when I heard Alice's story, I was like, screw that. I was trying to move on with my life, and now some shady government creeps want me to use some weird ability I had. For them, no way. Wasn't even sure I could do it anymore. Some of the others felt differently, though, and they told Alice they'd do it. It was a job, and after all, and most people wouldn't turn down a salary like that. Oh right, I forgot to tell you. She told us how much they'd pay us if we helped. It was a lot. More wealth than you can imagine. But I was still totally against doing it. My brother told me he'd go along with whatever I decided, so I decided we were leaving. A couple days passed, and Alice showed up at our apartment. She didn't waste time. The people behind the first Nonary game might have been part of the terrorist organization Alice and the SOIS were after. Wasn't that, she asked, something that I might want to know more about? It got me curious. My brother too. But the clincher was what Seven said to us. Seven? Why would Seven have been there? He was one of the guys that got abducted with us for the second Nonary game. She called him on the phone right then and there and handed it to us. You guys are the only people who can do this. We don't know where Junpei is. He's gone off to travel the world, looking for Akane. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Please, just do me a favor and help Alice out. Junpei equals, like Seven, another participant of the secondary Nonary game. Akane, one of the people behind the second Nonary games. So, the two terrorists they're talking about are Santa and June/Akane. I have a hard time believing that, really, that it would be Santa and June that were actually terrorists. Seven was a Japanese policeman, which was probably how Alice got in touch with him. Anyway, that did it. My brother and I agreed to join the SOIS. For the next couple months, all we did was train. Half of the time it was general knowledge and technical skills an SOIS agent needed. The other half was learning strength to strengthen our Esper abilities. Apparently at no point was Alice or Clover trained how to blend into a crowd based on their clothing. They actually know about Espers for quite a while. They had a lot of techniques that helped us get better and stronger. After several months of hard work, we were finally ready for our first field mission. What's funny here is if Clover is trained and a powerful Esper right now, why is she not communicating to her brother? Or trying to communicate to her brother? Why is her brother not communicating to her? I guess her brother might be dead. After several months of hard work, we finally were ready for our first field mission. Mine was an infiltration. My brother stayed at the base so I could relay information back through him. I was supposed to sneak into the Resonance Research Facility posing as one of their workers, and then use the morphogenic field to transmit what I found back to my brother. But everything went wrong. And here you have Clover dressed like an actual person and not like someone going to a rave. It was a trap. The whole research facility was fake, and I got captured. Alice had to come and rescue me. I'd been sending information about the inside of the facility to my brother, and Alice used that information to come and find me. As soon as she got there, she picked me up and carried me out. And see, that's a flat 2D image once again, so why is it good enough for the big reveal at the end of one main storyline and not good enough for the vast majority of the rest of the time? So instead they make 3D models. I was relieved and happy to be alive and free, but also felt ashamed and miserable. While she was carrying me back out, I started to cry. She was just so cool, and I wasn't. I wanted to be just like her. So from that day onward, I did everything I could to be more like Alice. Well, that might explain the clothing, the outfit. Our infiltration ended in failure, but we did manage to get something useful. In fact, we were able to figure out where the headquarters was. Where their headquarters was. The director decided that December 25th, 2028 would be the day we would strike. This time I promised myself we wouldn't screw it up. I was finally going to get some answers about something that had been with me for most of my life. But then, on December 22nd, 3 days before the raid, Alice and I were attacked by people in gas masks. Multiple people in multiple gas masks? While we were going over our plans. That's a weird revelation. And when you woke up, you were in this warehouse. And now we're back to being voiced. All of that talking seemed to have tired Clover out. That's just a kick in the balls, frankly. because A, they didn't pay the voice actor to actually do any talking there, and B, as a YouTube content creator, I then had to just read all of that and talk, and I don't particularly appreciate that. Although, I guess that really doesn't matter. She sighed and her long hair swayed as she moved. It doesn't really sway when she moved. Hey, I've got a few questions. Well, first off, your powers, I guess. I'm guessing you can't use them right now?
Yeah,
Why? Why can you not use them right now?
not really sure why. I've been sending my brother messages ever since I woke up, but
So she has been trying. No
Yeah.
response?
if there was another Esper here, they could make me stronger. But that's just wishful thinking.
Okay, so maybe Clover does help Phi potentially send a signal.
Wait. Well,
What?
if there's someone else who's stronger than me, then they kind of absorb my powers.
Oh, so that might also be the case. Phi might be absorbing the powers of Clover.
Maybe... No, never mind. That's probably not it.
So if it turned out that June or even Santa was K, and June or Santa was also 0, that might be the answer. Right, whatever. I have some other questions, so moving on. I think I understand what Alice was talking about now. They were trying to spread that virus, right? Okay, so who are they?
Well, I can't tell you that.
She just like spilled the beans on everything. Why is she not going to tell you? What? Why not? You told me all of the other stuff, but this is too much?
Alice would be mad at me.
I already told you that I wouldn't tell her. Fine. Let me rephrase. When are they going to do it?
Well, if we knew that, we wouldn't have gone to all that trouble.
So you don't know.
No, all we know is soon.
But that could mean just about anything.
It could be next week or next month or even next year. Or it could have happened already.
Wait. You mean they might have already released the
Wouldn't
virus?
that make the most sense? Like, how about this room? Or that newspaper article? And the 3 people who were put in cold sleep.
Are you saying you, me, and Alice were frozen and the pandemic happened while we were on ice? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Makes sense to me, but I am half asleep at this point. Nobody else has heard of Radical 6
Maybe
either.
they're lying.
Could be. All 6 of them?
Well, if Kay really does have memory loss, then it's only 5. Quark is out too.
So you're saying Tomoji, Dio, and Phi, and Luna are all lying. I guess they are a little suspicious. And that's what... And what's their motive?
Lying? How would I know?
And what's the motive for a terrorist organization to start a
I
pandemic?
heard it was something about purifying the unclean.
Purifying the unclean.
Oh, unclean. Unclean. Unclean.
Unclean, unclean.
Clean.
What? What are you doing?
Shut
Shut up.
Just hold on a minute.
Yeah, that's a localization issue too, is telling people to shut up so often.
I'm this close to remembering. Unclean. Clean.
There was, in the infirmary, the stain that you had to clean off, and then there was the oil and grease in the Golem Bay that you had to clean off. Is there any other areas where there was an escape room where you had to clean something off, though? I don't think so.
Een.
Een. E-E-N. She leapt up suddenly excited.
Neostigmine.
Ah. Boy, that's a stretch. Maybe that makes more sense in Japanese.
Did you forget it already? I'm talking about this stuff.
As she spoke, she pulled out of something out of her pocket. It was the injection gun, complete with a vial of medicine. All right, I remember that. It was in the safe in the treatment center, right? Didn't have any idea what it was, though, so I gave it to you.
Exactly.
Are you saying you've heard of this neostigmine before?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just remembered.
You remembered.
My brother told me about that.
Okay.
Neostigmine is a type of colon esterase inhibitor.
Big words.
That means it's a sort of antidote for tubocurarine.
Sorry, but I still don't get
How
it.
easy do I have to make it? Ugh. Okay, fine. I'll start at the top, alright?
Yeah, how many extra sentences are we gonna get added to this conversation? Because Sigma's an idiot.
Neostigmine, which counteracts the muscle relaxant tubocurarine.
Yeah, that was just said. Unnecessary.
Follow me?
That's unnecessary. Tubocurarine is the poison in our bracelets, right?
It's the second thing we get injected with if we're penalized.
Now we're getting flashbacks, which we really don't need. You're saying this neostigmine keeps it from working.
Yes. Oh my god, how many times are you going to make me say it?
So, is there perhaps enough in that gun to inject all 9 people with the neostigmine and then have one person open the 9 door and everybody just run through it? So we can just inject ourselves with this if we get penalized.
We don't have to die. We're going to be okay. We can only pull the trigger once though.
Okay. That means we can only use it on one person. Well, that changes the equation a little bit, but not enough, probably. Well, it's still good news. It means one of us can break the rules once. Like, let's see.
The best way to use it would be for sneaking through the number 9 door. If somebody gets 9 points, they can open it, right? With this stuff, somebody who doesn't have 9 points could still leave with them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go tell Alice.
What? Hey, Clover, wait. Clover. It's too late. Clover was already on the lift and gone. Damn. I was, I think, understandably upset. With no stairs, my only choice was to wait for the lift to come back down. As soon as it was back, I jumped on and headed upstairs. I don't know why that elevator would specifically go back down anyways, without a call button. Phi, where did Clover go? Ah, so Phi looks like she's having the effects of Radical 6 also. Phi, can you hear me? She didn't say anything, she just stared at me with her mouth half open. Her eyes seemed slightly glazed, and her body was unnaturally stiff. Phi. I grabbed her shoulder and shook her gently. Slowly she raised her arm, fingers dropping limply from it. She gestured toward the exit that led away from the warehouse. This way? She went through that door? Phi's only answer was a slow, shallow nod. Right, got it, thanks. So you just left her there? I headed for the exit, then paused. You look pretty tired. Get some rest, alright? Still no response. There was something odd about her, but catching Clover seemed like more of a priority. I turned back and jogged out the door towards the treatment center. See, that felt very squashed into the story for no real reason, just to show that Vi also seems to be infected by Radical 6, which then kind of makes an argument against her being a robot. Unless the robots can get Radical 6, or they can just act that way regardless. Huh? This is weird. Where is everybody? I assumed Alice would be in the treatment center, so Clover would have gone there to find her, but the room was empty. Luna and Tomoji were gone too. They left Quark, and the readout on the pod says his vital signs were still normal. As far as I could tell, he was still asleep. Fine, guess it's time to go look somewhere else. I made my way out of the treatment center. I feel like I'm just gonna find everybody dead. This would be in this timeline the first time I was in the pantry. And I'm just looking everywhere for everyone. I'm finding nothing. ... And if I guess there's nobody near me, then there's no conversation to have, thus it's just gonna be ... every time. Where could they all be? Hey, there's a room that we have never seen before. What the hell? What is going on here? I can't find anybody. Every single room is empty. Wait, there's still one place I haven't checked. The infirmary. There's plenty of places you haven't checked. I ran into the room and stopped short. And apparently, Radical 6 is affecting me now. I might as well have run into a brick wall. My chest tightened as much as I could barely breathe. No. What happened? I felt the whole body convulse. Whether from terror or from nausea, I couldn't tell. My legs went limp. I crumbled to the floor. Something sticky pressed against the palm of my hand. I looked down to see blood. A vast warm pool of fresh blood stretching out across the room, lapping at my legs and hands. Why? This can't be real. How could? So, somebody killed me? Yeah. Custom imagery of quite gory too for a Japanese game. Lots of blood. In the middle of a lake of blood, like an island of flesh or bodies. Wow. This had to have been K, frankly. We have Tenryoji, we have Phi, we have Luna, we have Clover, we have Alice and Dio all dead. And we know that it's seemingly Quark is dead everywhere. They're all very bloody too. So, is there anybody else that even could be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it has to be K. They were all bloody. They were all a bloody tangle of lifeless limbs and dead eyes, with too much blood and chaos for me to tell who was who. Had they sliced themselves open or stabbed one another? I guess they may have all gotten Radical 6 and killed themselves, but seriously, they would have done that in the same room? Also, how did Phi get in this room to murder herself or be murdered when she seemed to be just hovering around and being affected by Radical 6? Are there multiple Phis? I couldn't tell. All the blood, too much blood. Whatever they'd done, it was clear what tool they'd used to do it. A scalpel lay in the blood next to them, its handle and blade streaked with gore. This was how they had died, this tiny blade. Oh god. This is it. It's all over. This is how it ends. That's right. I have to end it. This nightmare will finally be over. Time to wake up. My fingers scraped across the floor as I picked up the scalpel. Oh, so this might be a hallucination, I suppose. And you're killing yourself in reality because you have Radical 6. I lifted it slowly, carefully to my neck, as if someone were guiding my hand to theirs, and drew it across my throat. Was it really necessary to animate a bloody slicing your own throat animation? I'm not sure if that was a hallucination or if that's really how that went. But this is an actual ending, because I wouldn't be playing the credits this way. That'd be funny if that turned out to be the Clover ending. So, in one of the timelines, we did see here 2 voices that were voice acted. One was the commander calling the Mars test facility, and the other was the lady at the Mars test facility. So, I would think that they should be listed, but it very well may be that the voice actors who played those roles also played other characters. And I seriously doubt we're going to get any kind of imagery on a bad ending like this, so it's probably easiest just to hit the A button and skip this. We'll just assume there's nothing to see there, and that was called the Clover end. So, with the game having been left running now for over 76 hours, we have a Clover end and a Dio end. So, what do you really learn from that at that point? Just that when you hit about this point, that's when Radical 6 starts to affect everybody, and if you don't have that cure ready, then you are going to probably die. We can also see that this was a closed book before, and now we know how Phi and K can be saved, so we could use that open book and that open book to go further down these paths. Of course, we're still going to stick with the recursive path, and that possibly means that we will rush through an open book in one of these paths fairly easily. Right, so you go back to this point, and we'll want to see what the dead end is on this. There is something I think that should be pointed out as we betray here.
Sigma, do you remember what I said?
Let's go ahead and skip this.
Yeah, can I changed my mind. I think we should
I guess at this decision point, this is the point where the writer tried to make Clover more of a likable character, even though she did some unlikable things or said some unlikable things earlier.
Really?
As far as suggesting you betray.
I promise. I told Tenmyoji.
So there must be an Alice ending that is fairly similar to Clover's ending, I would guess.
No, he does. Quark is really. If we betray Quark.
So there is. Jump to that. Is there any reason to jump to that? No.
Come on, don't you remember when we were going into the red, blue, and?
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention.
Just know.
I can't betray somebody who'd say
Like,
that about me.
There is some weirdness here, in that we have one ending that is probably the perfect ending, then 2 dead endings, then 1 locked ending that we've since unlocked, then 1 ending for Dio, and then 1 locked ending that we have since unlocked, and then 1 locked ending that we haven't unlocked yet that really doesn't leave enough room for endings for the other characters. Because you'd have to assume that then you'd get another character ending here, another character ending here, another character ending here, another character ending basically in every path with no more dead endings, and I don't believe that. So almost certainly once we unlock this path, it is going to end up just showing us the ending of some other character. Probably same here, probably same here. And that's how we're going to get the bad endings for each of the characters. Once. Sorry.
That's because I didn't... Well, if what he told me was true, yeah.
We never figured out what Tenmyoji said to him. To her.
1 minute remains until Ambidex Game polling closes.
I think if we betray here, I just have 9 points.
If I try, you'll
And
just
then I
throw
could
me off, right?
probably just escape at that
I
point.
don't think I'm strong enough to fight you.
In fact, I might be the only one that can escape at that point.
So,
Although it would be funny if I get 9 points and I still can't escape because everybody just jumps me. Or, you know, I escape and then I die in the desert above. Because this almost certainly has to be the Sigma bad ending. Betraying a kid.
10 seconds remain.
So much dialogue.
3, 2, 1.
Betray. Let's see what this does. Hopefully this doesn't lead to a long conversation. I kind of question how it could.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
In a funny way, if I get 9 points, there's really no reason why I need to, as the player, actually escape now, but I feel like the story is going to make that happen regardless.
Thank you for your participation.
The problem here is, even if you got 9 points and said you weren't going to immediately escape and wait for everybody else to leave to get 9 points also, there's usually about an hour to 2 hours between the last AB game and the chromatic doors opening, and they always split up and they always look for things. So unless people are going to stay with you so you can't double back and open the 9 door when nobody's around, it would be very, very easy to sneak into the warehouse, open the 9 door, and then go through it in 9 seconds, and nobody would even be able to make it back to the warehouse to stop you.
Ambidex gates now opening.
It's kind of
what did
surprising.
you choose, Sigma?
It's kind of surprising that they didn't bother to put in a rule that says the number 9 door can't be opened unless everybody's in the warehouse or dead. You didn't see me push the button?
No.
Huh? Well, you'll know in a moment. Same dialogue. What you want to do after this is up to you. You can come with me if you want, or you can stay here. Your choice.
That's as good as saying you chose betray.
Yep, different dialogue. Hey. I grinned and headed toward the display. So,
Results from
is Clover
round
even
2
going to have 9
of the
points?
Ambidex game will now be displayed.
I wasn't really thinking about how many points she would have.
Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Yeah. Betray, betray. Leaves them. Ally, ally. Betray, ally. So Clover and Sigma can escape, which Alice probably ordered Clover to escape anyways, so Alice shouldn't be too upset about that. Kay would be upset with that. Dio would be upset with that. Luna and Phi will be upset with that. Timoji's, I don't think, even in the room.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
So even if Sigma wasn't going to leave right now, Clover very well may.
What did you do, Clover?
Sorry.
This is funny because I thought Alice in other timelines told her to
It
escape.
wasn't me.
Sigma, huh?
Yeah.
Care to explain this then?
What's there to explain? It's exactly what it looks like. I'm getting out of here.
What?
Are you going with him, Clover?
Interesting question.
I
When they all turned to look at Clover, I made my move. My feet pounded across the metal floor of the warehouse as I ran for the number 9 door.
Wait!
Hey, wait! He had to do better than shout if he wanted to stop me. I was closer, and I was almost there. I took one last running leap and slammed into the wall, the unlocking device right in front of me. With a yell of triumph, I threw down the lever. The door began to open. A heavy metallic grinding noise filled the room.
Shit. That son of a bitch actually did it?
His voice sounded almost surprised. I turned to face him. Is Clover gonna run through? Sorry, but it looks like this is goodbye. Don't worry. I'll go to the police as soon as I get out and come back with help. I'm not gonna just leave you all here to die. That's what half the people who escape say, and it doesn't seem to actually happen.
Give me that shit. I know a liar when I see one.
Really? Maybe you should get your eyes checked.
Are you guys just gonna let him run off like this?
No way. I can't allow that. He took advantage of a sick kid. He's just a coward.
Agreed.
I also agree.
That's it then. Let's get him. Ready?
Yeah.
He's toast.
So all 4 of them are gonna just beat me up.
To us.
Hey now, don't do anything you'll regret. The store's only open once, you know. If you stop me, then.
Charge!
Poop. I spun back around to face the door. There it was, right in front of me. Freedom. I leapt for it. Or at least I tried. So I get rumbled. It would be a weird ending to the story, certainly. It happened in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, my cheek was being pressed against the cold steel floor of the warehouse. So the only question left here is Clover gonna leave?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Poop. Let me go. Let me go. I could feel something huge, heavy, and metal pressing against my back. Kay had to be holding me down. I flailed and kicked, but it didn't do any good. There's a custom scene here where I'm on the ground. Was that necessary? What are you doing? You're just killing yourselves. The door only opens once. If I don't...
Go, Clover.
Go, Clover.
Huh?
You're the only one of us with 9 BP. Nobody else can get out.
But
This is an order from your commanding officer. You are to escape from this facility. Once you've accomplished that, call for help.
that's...
Stop complaining and go.
So, she does order her. She just does it later.
None of us will get out of here alive. Leave!
The door had already begun to close. The space was narrowing quick, but it was still wide enough for a single person to make it through.
Fine. You didn't leave me much choice.
I couldn't see what had happened, but I heard enough to guess. Alice had shoved Clover through the door. Looking up, I see Clover's feet just beyond the doorway, so she's not going to get squashed, apparently.
Alice! Go! Call for help! I'm counting on you! Alice! No! I can't!
The number 9 door has closed.
In this instance in particular, Alice, Clover probably would call for help if she could, but the story's just going to end here.
The Nonary Game. Thank you for
Like,
your participation.
I feel like there should be more definitive ends to some of these stories.
Escape.
They should just say, like, everybody's going to be now killed by a gas, or
Please enjoy your stay.
or everybody lived out their life and never escaped. Like, leaving it open where it's game over ... is the question mark is a bit of a problem. And I feel like the ... is intentionally there to imply that perhaps in some paths that would be a different experience. Alright, well, I've got probably another day or two's worth of recording this series, in which I'm going to have to go through many more episodes. I would imagine we're talking 15 more hours of gameplay. Particularly, it depends on just how far this goes. We still haven't really seen a password that makes a lot of sense there, and I don't think we will. We didn't unlock anything by getting this dead end, so instead we are now going to have to rewind all the way back to this point, and let's see, that would be into the chromatic doors. And then I think I just want to double save there. Where are we on the archives then? Let's look at that before we wrap up. Still a decent amount of stuff. You're at page 6.5 of 8 pages, or less than 8 pages, 8 full pages of items. But you don't really have the injection gun with you, I don't think. As far as passwords to the safe, there's clearly 3 more passwords to the white doors, and then clearly 2 more passwords for some escape room that's past even the white doors. As far as the secrets, we have 1 page, and then 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages, 6 pages, which tells me that either there is something that doesn't require a password, a safe password. No, wait, there is 1 more safe passwords we haven't gotten on the first round, obviously. We haven't done the crew quarters, so we'll do the crew quarters, obviously. And then that will be 3 separate branches for the second round of chromatic doors. And then there's only apparently 2 things there. So it seems like if you got through the white doors, that's either something that's just never going to happen, or there's just going to be a big revelation once we get through the white chromatic doors that there aren't actually escape rooms or puzzles behind that, and it is perhaps just all the antidotes to all the poisons and all the cures to Radical 6 may be behind the white doors, and all the star key cards maybe that you'd ever need, which you actually only need 1, I imagine. I imagine the same star key card might open all of the AB gates. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.